Hello, sports gamers, and welcome back to another broadcast of the ECL Elite Winter Season. My name is Sin, joined here today by Brandon, aka B Major, and boy, do we have some great matchups for you this evening or afternoon, wherever you may be tuning in from. First matchup here, of course, going to be HAVU Gaming taking on Jyväskylä. Some serious, perhaps playoff implications in this matchup here. Brandon, how you feeling about this?
Doing great, feeling great, Sid, and excited for these two matchups, especially this first one with HAVU and Jyväskylä, kind of two teams that have been trending in different directions and with different storylines to start the season. It was kind of interesting to see how HAVU is going to start losing Flyer Kungen, and it's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, 1, 2, and 3 to start the year, which is not typically what you've seen from HAVU, but they've been in some close games and looking to turn it around, while Jyväskylä back in the ECL Elite after the season down the Pro last season and winning their championship to get back up here. They've been amazing so far. They're in the thick of that playoff race. Would be a huge statement for them to come in and beat a consistent contender like HAVU Gaming today.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that, I mean, we'll get a look at some of the latest results from around the ECL Elite, just kind of what's been happening. And you can see there a very tight matchup between ZSC and YMCA, both teams kind of looking to improve their fortunes, after seasons, that they weren't quite happy with. And YMCA, obviously, we talked about it, definitely one of those teams projected to finish further down the standings, but not having too bad of a start. At least they're recovering so far in the early going this season.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually got to see YMCA just a couple of days ago, and it's interesting to kind of see how they were able to recover so well. A team that struggled on the scoring end a little bit, but kind of just seemed to find ways to win. And as odd as it sounds, that's one of the more dangerous type of teams to play when a team might not necessarily be playing their best or scoring at that high level, but just seem to always be in games. When you put yourself in that position, you never know what's going to happen. But how about Edinburgh, Sin? Finding a way to beat H-Reds 3-2, getting them their first regulation loss of the season, a little bit earlier for H-Reds than what we saw them last season, but impressive for Edinburgh, not just to win that one game, but pretty competitive in that other game as well. So that's another team that maybe some expected to be a little bit lower down the standings, getting off to a pretty nice start to the year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a huge kind of upset victory. We thought maybe Goons would be the team to hand H-Reds their first loss, but they unfortunately, as you see down there at the bottom, got shut out twice. So we'll move on and check out how the standings are shaping up here. Again, we're, quickly approaching kind of towards the midway point in the season as we are getting there. You see Goons up there with 12 games played. They are right now the closest team, just 3 games away from that official midway point in the season. As you know, it is about a 30-game season, but I mean, the left side of the bracket, dare I say, is kind of shocking right now.
I mean, I think many would probably agree with you, to be honest with you. I mean, you kind of look from top to bottom on this list. Obviously, there's a few teams that have more games played than others, but I mean, who would have expected Edinburgh to be in this position right now, or Jyväskylä or Fallon Coal Miners, a team that was, I've kind of dubbed them as the mystery team coming in, where some had them as high as like 7 for 6, others had them as low as about 11 for 12. It was kind of just throw a dart at the board and see what happens in terms of thinking where this team was going to be, and all of a sudden, they're right behind for London, Goons, and H-Reds, and they're right at that cream of the crop, while other teams that we were kind of expecting to be a little bit higher up there are not. Like, how about IQ? I know they've only played 6 games, but dead last right now at the 16th spot, and obviously we mentioned HAVU, a really slow start for them at the 14th spot. So I think you said shocking, and that'd probably be the right word. A lot of shuffling around of where there are teams that you probably wouldn't expect to be as high up on the board as they are, and some that you wouldn't expect to be as low on the board as they are. So it's going to be fun to see how some of those teams manage to maintain that and or try to climb back up in the standings.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the games played discrepancy does play a factor in some of these, but, even on that flip side, ZSC with just those 6 games played, by points percentage, they are within, striking distance of locking in, one of those playoff positions in the standings there. But the first matchup of today, we're going to move on, check out the, the team head-to-head here between Jyväskylä and HAVU Gaming. And Jyväskylä team coming in, not the greatest goal differential here, but you look at HAVU, and those are stats you just simply don't expect to see next to that logo.
Yeah, it's been a rough go for HAVU so far, and I think you have to kind of cut them a little bit of slack because they have lost those 3 games in overtime. You turn some of those results around, and all of a sudden, maybe you're talking about them being on the left side of the board. But nevertheless, I think it's one of those things to where you're just trying to look to find some consistency to turn it around. Obviously, they lost Flyer Kungen at the center position, which is a big loss, and something I think no one else has talked about. Dominointi, who was their leading point scorer, or excuse me, Yeagleson, who was their leading point scorer last season, has yet to suit up as of today, and that's going to change today. But to lose a guy that's been your captain at center and to not have a guy that has led you in points and goals from the season coming back, that's a big loss. 2 of your 3 forwards from goal is a really successful group. So you kind of see HAVU trying to adapt to that, trying to get used to that, especially as weird as it may sound on the defensive end of things. But how about Jyväskylä on the other end? We kind of talked about them making that move back up to the elite division, and so far they have not disappointed us at all. I know that, like you said, those goals for might not be the most impressive, but they have found ways to win, especially in those close games. And I think the biggest thing is just being able to find that way to win sometimes. It might not always be pretty, but if you can just find a way to get that result, to get those 2 points, that's what matters the most. And they've been a team that's played a lot of close games this season as well. 5 of their 6 being decided by a goal. So we could have a good one here, Sin. Should be interesting to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll take a look now at the lineups for both of these teams as well. And on the side of HAVU, quite a different look than we've really ever seen before. The front 3 right now, Puanzo, Honeli, and Villikun. And then the back end, Dominointi, the regular center of HAVU Gaming, next to Sibelius on the right defense slot. Now, we did see Sibelius sliding up into skater earlier on over the course of the season. Normally a goaltender, but has played some right D now. And, of course, Hanselino between the pipes. But this lineup from HAVU is just, you can tell they're looking for something to click here. And we'll look at the JYP lineup here. We have Aro, Antti, and Indy in the front 3, and then Sile and Sakam on the back end, and Kasu between the pipes here. So just want to kind of get your thoughts, Brandon, on this kind of HAVU lineup here, because it's a look that we simply didn't expect.
Yeah, this is very, very interesting because you have one of the better right defensemen in Villikun coming up and playing right wing, and Honeli moving to center with Puanzo being the one stacking the piece at that left wing spot. So I apologize, I accidentally said Yeagleson be in this game earlier. He's not, but it's interesting because it's such a different lineup. And then, like you said, Dominointi, one of the more consistent forwards at left D, Sibelius, typically a goalie, at right D. So it's kind of just shuffling pieces around the board here. And, when you have a team like this that's kind of struggling, looking to get that consistency, why not change it up? You have a team in Jyväskylä that you feel like you can compete with. They're a good team. And not only that, but something to keep in mind, Puanzo played on Jyväskylä last season, so a little bit of a vengeance game for him. But this is an interesting little switch up for HAVU. I don't necessarily hate it, but it's going to be interesting to see how easily or how quickly they get things clicking, considering there's so many moving pieces in that lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we'll move on, of course, to the head-to-head battles here between these 2 teams. And again, Honeli filling in on the center role. Look, I don't know if I've seen Honeli on various teams, but I feel like he's always played wing. I could be wrong on that, but nonetheless, no face-off stats for him so far this season. Then you look at Antti here, who's had a great start, a goal per game, and the face-off numbers to boot.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because obviously we don't really know what we're going to see out of Honeli at that center position. He's played a few games this season at that wing spot, not necessarily off to the greatest start, but those stats are a little bit deceiving because they played Silo Esports, got shut out in both games. Those are the 2 games that Honeli played in, so do not judge a book by its cover. He's a guy that can make some plays for the HAVU team. They just have to get clicking as a 5-man unit to kind of see that show out a little bit more. But for Antti, I think you said it's in a really impressive season so far. 6 goals in his 6 games played, so he's at that goal per game pace. It's so interesting when the center typically is the guy that can score most of those goals, because a lot of times you kind of see it more centered towards the wingers, while the centers are more higher in the assist numbers. But when you see a guy that can put the puck in the net down the middle, it can be a little bit scary as a defensive unit. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if Antti gets a few here in these 2 games today.
Yeah, definitely a very experienced player, a mainstay here in the ECL Elite. So we'll move on now to the battle of the wingers between these 2 teams. And we're going to be seeing Puanzo and Villikun back up in front. And then on the other side, Eero and Indy on the side of JYP Jyväskylä. And, what kind of stands out to you here in this matchup? All the point totals, pretty similar across the board.
Yeah, I think the one thing to kind of look out for is, remember, like I mentioned earlier, Piazzo played on JYP Jyväskylä last season. He's the only piece to this JYP Jyväskylä team in today's lineup that didn't return to this team that won the championship last season. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see how that affects things, because he's the only consistent piece in this HAVU lineup from what they've had all season long. So you add that in, but then at the same time, JYP Jyväskylä knows how he plays. They know what he likes to do, some of those tendencies. So it's just going to be interesting, some of the, not mind games, but just some of the strategicness of it mentally, how they're going to play him and how he's going to play JYP Jyväskylä, because just like they know him, he knows them just as well, if not better. So I think if anyone for HAVU is going to be the guy to have to kind of step up a little bit, he might be that guy.
Absolutely. And we'll check out now the defensive pairings here between these two teams, and something that's, has to really stand out here. And we're going to have to take the numbers with a grain of salt, because he normally plays center. Dominointi filling in that lefty spot for HAVU Gaming.
Yeah, and that's going to be very interesting, because Dominointi, as you can see, he has 5 goals. Well, HAVU as a team this season, 12 goals for. So you move a guy that scored nearly half of the goals you've had this season, slide him back over to D, and you have Sibelius with him, who is typically a goaltender, but has played a little bit of everywhere from the seams of it. So it's one of those things we don't really know what to expect. How much are they going to maybe move up into play a little bit? But I will say one thing. JYP Jyväskylä will have to watch out for both these guys offensively, because they have proven that they have that ability with the puck on their stick. Whether they're playing defense or not, they still can make a few plays for themselves and for their team. So it's going to be interesting to see how Sile and Sakam kind of react to that. But I think the biggest difference to watch out for is the hit totals. You see 34 for Sile, 22 for Sakam. Both of these guys can get very, very aggressive while still maintaining their positioning well. Could be interesting to see if that develops here as an advantage for JYP Jyväskylä.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can stop a team at the blue line, whether with that physicality or a good stick, you completely stop their momentum on the rush. And now we'll take a look at the goaltenders who will be playing in this match. But once again, Hanselino, the mainstay for HAVU, and still not able to get those numbers where he would like them.
Yeah, and you just kind of hope for him that he can turn it around, because he's had so much success in the past with this HAVU team, and I have a hard time seeing him not turning around. Maybe today could kind of be the beginning of that, but I think for him, it's not necessarily been him playing poorly, but just a matter of the circumstances that have gone on around him. I'm sure obviously he feels he could be playing a bit better than what he has been, but it's just tough when you are a team that's kind of struggling out of the gate. You've had some lineup changes. They haven't really found that one consistent group that's been able to result to good results for them. And it's one of those things where if you're Hanselino, you just try to keep going at it. You are a veteran. You know a lot of the good things that you've done in the past and even last season as well. So you just kind of have to keep pushing and be consistent and hoping for that result to come soon to kind of move things in a positive direction. Well, for Katsu, amazing start for him so far, 82.7%. So he's at about that mark where most goalies want to be, and the GAA pretty solid as well at that 1.50. So he's been as good as ever. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what difference he could make in this game against JYP Jyväskylä, or for JYP Jyväskylä, especially considering that this is a lineup that they probably didn't expect to have to face against that they're having in HAVU.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, could definitely kind of throw him for a loop, and perhaps HAVU and in their practicing have sort of, been trying to find some different looks. Maybe this is a look that they're happy with moving forward. So I hope the teams are about ready to match up and about ready to get into the gameplay here. But this is a pivotal point of the season for HAVU. We talk about it all the time. The season moves by very quickly, and you need to be able to either bank points early or be able to turn things around quickly. And a 1, 2, and 3 HAVU is not something that we really expect to see, and it's something they're going to want to turn around. But they go up against a JYP Jyväskylä team. It's opposite. Sorry, a 4-1-1 start, coming back up to elite from pro division. It's you're going to have to take on a team that's feeling good right now, playing well. And if you're HAVU Gaming with a completely different lineup, honestly, the jury's out. Losing your captain's tough, but we're just watching all the lineup changes for this HAVU team, and it's really seeming like they're trying to find their footing here once again in the elite division.
Yeah, and I think that's such a big reason to why you kind of shuffled the deck a little bit here, just trying to find that group that has that chemistry or has that extra something that you're looking for. And obviously, you don't want to hit the panic button too early. It's still early on in the season. They've only played 6 games, and HAVU is a team that has that ability to get on these streaks and get to winning. But at the same time, we have talked about this before. Points are so important at any point in the ECL season. And you kind of look at the standings. HAVU 5 points this season at 14th. Jyväskylä 9 points this season at 8th. That's good for the last playoff spot. So if Jyväskylä comes in, wins both, then you're talking about 6 points that you're back of the team that is currently in the last playoff spot. Then you have to consider teams like Stargazing, CSC Esports, Salo, and Feriestad that have games in hand over you. So it's easy to kind of say, well, it's early, you don't have to panic too much, but when those points start to kind of get away from you, it can really start to hit after a while. And once you get to May 25th, the last day of the season, if you're looking at the ninth spot and you're 3 points back, look back at week 2 and say, hey, maybe there were a few results there that we could have won that we just didn't because we weren't playing at our best at that point. So obviously you don't want to hit the panic button on HAVU, but it's one of those things to where in this elite division you have to be on. They really need to get it going soon because with how many teams are kind of surprising this season, they do not want to be left out because it can very well happen if they don't pick it up.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's kind of our whole mantra here. It's like you have time, but then at the same time, you don't really have the time. And here we are in week 2, and we see a team like Goons who are already 12 games played. Other teams, 8, are about to hit 10 games played today, which is that 1/3 mark in the season. It goes by deceptively quickly, while at the same time, it sort of feels like it can not exactly drag, but it still feels like you have time here. And that's kind of just how this ECL seasons kind of go here. And I think you said it, HAVU's a team that no matter what, I mean, still with all the talent they have on this roster, their goals are making it back to the playoffs. There's no question about that. And right now they find themselves in a dangerous position where they're not in the playoffs and they're quite a few points out of the playoffs, But again, the games in hand definitely will help them out here. So I believe we're having just a slight delay here, or maybe they have matched up. If not, I was thinking maybe we can get you guys a look if we do have the sheet up of some. Oh, there we go. We don't have to show you guys the top 10s. Perhaps we could do that a bit later as the league is starting to take shape and some leaders are jumping out. We can get an idea of who may be capturing some of those season awards towards the end of competition here in the Elite Division. But pretty standard all the way across. Playmaker in the middle, mostly puck-moving defenseman for the rest of the way out. So very meta builds from both of these squads. So yeah, the product on the ice at the end of the day is what's going to count. Jyväskylä, great start. HAVU Gaming need to recover, and they need to recover quickly.
Yeah, and we kind of mentioned it in the last few minutes, but it's a huge series for both these teams in terms of points. Jyväskylä can kind of get up towards that top half that we talked about. While for HAVU, they need to win both these games and kind of get back in the thick of things in terms of that playoff spot. So early in the season, but it just goes to show you, still a huge series here in the Elite Division. Both of these teams need points. Hope you can get them here today.
Absolutely, and you see what all these teams here are playing for across the winter and spring season. The winter season, which of course concluded a couple months ago here. First place prize, €6,000 in the spring season, and a chance to play in the grand finals for €10,000. But of course, if H-Reds do end up winning this spring season championship, then they will automatically take home that $10,000. Again, though, they did just drop a game to Edinburgh, a game that probably no one expected them to drop. So if you're looking for those holes in the armor, if you're looking for that chance to, to kind of take H-Reds off of their mountain, maybe it is coming this season, as they, again, did drop a game, close game nonetheless, but, to a team like Edinburgh, who failed to make the playoffs last season, is holding on to the 8th seed right now. Again, a lot of teams behind them with some games in hand. So puck drop just a few moments away. Brandon, what do you kind of think we're going to get the feel of in this first game?
Honestly, it's going to be interesting, and I'm going to be looking very intently at HAVU to see how they look coming into this because of how many changes are within that lineup. How much do they click coming out of the gate? Is Jyväskylä going to be able to take advantage of that and get a hot start? It'll be really interesting to see how the first 20 minutes of this goes.
Here we are in gameplay now. Jyväskylä in the black with the white shoulders. HAVU Gaming, of course, in the road whites with the green pants. They have possession right now, trying to cut into the neutral zone, but right back in possession is Jyväskylä. Nice neutral zone passing. Antti gains the line and can't advance much further. Billy Kuhn has it now. Over to the middle. Beautiful spin move coming out there. I do apologize. We do not have the color indicators up, so we'll do our best to call the game as we see it. Back to the point there. Dominoiti does keep it in. Has to be careful with it and back down low. Wanso now trying to send out front right there. I believe that was Villikun in front. They weren't able to connect, and here come Jyväskylä. Great stick coming out there from Otto. And Dominoiti has it now. Looking to move it out. Beautiful pass. Puanzo has some space. Shot on just wide. Villikun retrieves the puck momentarily. And Sibelius on the point has it. Back low to Puanzo. Tries to cut in. Puck goes through the legs of Kazu. Through the crease. Dominoiti unable to hold the line. We'll get our first whistle here for an offside, but a good start from HAVU so far.
Yeah, Yip tried to kind of get the momentum going early, but HAVU not really allowing them to get any quality shots on net. They turned around, got a counterattack, and nearly put a good chance there on the goaltender and Cats, who just couldn't get it on net. But I like the way the HAVU's playing. Really aggressive, really in control. Looks like they might have some cohesion here as well, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can capitalize.
Antti sent it down low to Indy, who then lost it. Coming back up, Wanso moving the puck out. Sibelius with it on the back end, feeds Villikun. But they'll be forced to reset here. Good neutral zone defensive play from Jyväskylä right now. The dump and chase, but that will sail over the glass. Lead to another stoppage in play here with 11:18 left in the first.
You know, Sin, I think something that's going to be interesting to watch is we kind of talked about Honelli moving to the center position. We don't know what to expect from him at the faceoff circle. Could that maybe be something that indicates, considering that he hasn't had that history so far this season, isn't used to taking those draws?
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on, especially some of those key draws as well. As obviously Antti, very experienced player there, as Indy got the puck and tried to kind of just scoot that one home on the short side of Hanselino, but here come HAVU on the counterattack. Villikun trying to gain the line. Well played by Sile. Sends it around to his defensive partner in Sakam. Begins to bring it out. Has a bit of trouble there. I believe that was Puanzo on the forecheck. And HAVU back in possession. Puanzo now gains the line. Protects. Looking for the shot. Good recovery from Sakam there. Knocked the puck off his stick. Sile now. Up through the center, Antti. Tries to feed someone getting to the middle, but no one was home. HAVU in possession, but a good forecheck coming out now. Otto pressuring behind the net. Still pressuring, gets a stick on it. Sibelius having some trouble moving this one out. Good pressure coming out from Jyväskylä here. Puanzo has it down that left wing side, looking to beat the defenseman wide. Does for a moment. Well defended. HAVU still in possession. Puanzo with it, sends the middle. Shot on, and Kazu caught in a save animation. I'm not too sure if he got credit with the save. It did bounce wide at the end of the day, and that was a close call there. As HAVU, once again, back in on the attack. Relentless pressure coming out from them right now, and Jyväskylä just doing their best to survive it and looking to alleviate it here now in a rush of their own. Otto trying to send down low to Indy, intercepted by Puanzo. Excellent stick work and resets back to his defenseman. Dominoiti moving it around. Villikun enters the zone, but taken away by Sile. A little bit of a dangerous pass there. Villikun intercepts it. HAVU back in on the attack. Villikun looking, waiting. Pass to the middle. Honelli has it now. Puanzo behind the net. Out front, and they score! Villikun gets HAVU on the board early. You could feel it coming. A late first period goal from HAVU. They take a 1-0 lead.
He may be moving up to right wing, Sim, but he wears that golden helmet for a reason. He came in leading this team in points, and Villikun at the right wing spot capitalizes on a great set play from this new group of a HAVU lineup. They get out early, and how about this, Sim? We knew they kind of shuffled the deck a little bit, but these guys look like they've been playing together all season. Absolutely solid so far and really applying pressure.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a great down-low cycle, kind of a classic HAVU play, but not the classic HAVU lineup here, but it's seeming to give them a bit of energy. They're right back in on the attack as Villikun trying to send that to the middle. It was blocked away by Otto. Now he has it up the left wing side. Just a few seconds remaining here in this first. They're looking for one chance. Antti has it. Slap shot on, looking for the deflection. But Otto looks like instead his guy kind of just caught it, and that will do it for the first period of action here. HAVU take a 1-0 lead off the back of this goal by Villikun.
And how about these HAVU guys? And they come in, they bring us this completely different lineup, a few changes last minute as well, and they look like they've been playing together all season long. It is absolutely wild to see the pressure that they are putting on a Jyväskylä team that's been so good defensively all season long. And it's so fun to kind of see how this team is already kind of seem to gain that chemistry and that cohesion, and you can see that from the pressure that they've put on Jyväskylä with that time on attack, just 1 second off of that 3-minute mark, and they might not have a ton of shots on net, but overall, if you're applying that pressure, if you're keeping Jyp hemmed in their own zone, the way that HAVU likes to play, when they get that cycle going, when they can possess the puck for so long and really spread a team out defensively, it's so dangerous to play against. It makes it so hard for a goalie to make those big saves on those one-time plays, on those quick passes. So HAVU just playing HAVU, typical HAVU hockey, but man oh man, a new lineup that has given some fresh faces and a fresh look nevertheless.
Yeah, and I mean, holding Jyväskylä to sub 30 seconds of time on attack. I mean, you said it, maybe not a whole lot of shots for HAVU, but they were absolutely dictating the pace there in that first period. They're going to try to look to do that again as they enter the zone momentarily. Otto now trying to move it out, gets it all the way down. Will it go for icing? It does not, and Sibelius has it behind the net. Beautiful pass up to Villikun. Looking to get by Sile there. Fails to do so. Sock'em now with the puck. Jyväskylä need to find some way to be able to generate some offense. They do have 2 registered shots, but not a whole lot of threat so far. Indy with the puck. Sent down low to Antti. Behind the net, back to Indy. Beautiful bit of L skating there. And they're working the perimeter nicely. Antti trying to get towards that middle, trying to send to Indy, but well read by Puanzo. But Otto has the puck. Shot blocked. Honelli moves it out to Villikun. May have a 2-on-1 developing for HAVU. Good back check from Jyväskylä. Honelli with the puck, but failing to get that towards the middle. Sock'em breaking it out. Send over the boards, and Sibelius now has it. Trying to feed that middle, but Otto with another intercept. And Jyväskylä back in possession in their own end. Sock'em feeds it up to Indy, who gains the line, has space wide. Sent all the way around, and Sile picks it up on the boards. Pinches in a bit, trying to find that middle, but no one was home. And Puanzo has it. Sent over. No icing on the play, so we'll continue here. Good forecheck, but a beautiful breakout pass. Has Indy up there. Can't pass it in time, and Indy is caught offside.
You know, we kind of talked about Jyväskylä not having a lot of time on attack so far in this game, and it seems like the HAVU does a good job of stopping them really at that blue line. Jyp has tried to break it out through a neutral zone, but they just haven't been able to get past that blue line, establish anything so far, and really have to credit the defensive effort to HAVU for that so far.
Puanzo's shot goes wide, and it rings all the way back, so HAVU will be forced to play it back in their own end. Sibelius now with the puck. Working it around with Dominoiti, who will lead the rush. Over to Puanzo, but not any space on the blue line. But Puanzo somehow breaks it in. Loses it. Sock'em, bit of an errant pass there. That will go for an icing here. So it seems like Jyväskylä trying to stretch the game out a bit and kind of getting punished for it with offsides and icing.
Yeah, and they've had a few of those passes on the breakout that have just been a little bit off so far. It's interesting because it's kind of what we said could maybe happen to HAVU with the new lineup, but a team has been pretty consistent, brings back a lot of their players from last season, looking like they're struggling a little bit to have that same cohesion that the other side's having so far.
Shot wide by Indy, and Jyväskylä have it down low now. Antti back over to Indy, who sends it back to Sile. Down low towards the middle there, almost connects, but good collapse from HAVU. Nice pitch from Sile to keep it alive, but Sibelius with a great play to disrupt that. Honelli over to Villikun, back to his centerman. But Jyväskylä have it now. Beautiful pass up the boards. Indy has it, looking to beat him wide. Goes backhand just off the short side. Hits the side of the net. He's caught behind the goaltender now and is able to work his way out. Nice guy, Hanselinho. Shot on and saved by Kazu, and he will get the cover.
Yeah, and a nice save from Kazu, and Jyp tried to kind of get something going a little bit there. Probably one of the better possessions that they've had here so far in this game, but a nice job from HAVU not letting them get any good opportunities on it. Now they get a chance at the offensive zone to maybe double this lead with a face-off win here.
Good win, Dominoiti on the point. Sent over, shot wide now. They have a bit of trouble with that pass initially. Could have been a forced turnover by Otto there on the point. They're able to, they dodged that bullet there, and great neutral zone play here by HAVU. Really, again, stopping Jyväskylä from being able to get their attack going. They go to the dump and chase, which may be a good look for them. Otto retrieves it, has Indy down low. Oh, almost getting the shot off was Antti. Had space on the glove side, but the defense from HAVU prevents him from getting the shot. Sile now shot on. Kick save by Hanselinho there. And sent in low, and Dominoiti gets it behind the net. HAVU trying to break that one back in, but they'll be forced to reset now. Sent over, errant pass, Otto has it. Sent into the middle for Antti, who had white jerseys all over the place. Otto has it once more. Over to Sock'em. Sock'em low to Indy, shot on, and good save by Hanselino once again. He's been on his game so far in this period, as JYP Jyväskylä coming back with a bit more offense than we've seen so far in this one. Time ticking away, approaching the last minute here. JYP Jyväskylä in possession. Antti trying to gain the line. Villikun has it and resets it. Dominointi now. Sent over to Sibelius, and Villikun enters the zone. Careful on that one, Sock'em. Almost lost the puck on his own goaltender. Otto now has it. Shot on wide. Back in front. Antti takes a shot. Looks like hit the side of the net. Perhaps Hanselino got a piece of it. Nonetheless, the lead is maintained for HAVU. And on the back a bit of Hanselino here, who had to make some tough saves in that period.
Yeah, we didn't see much of Hanselino in the first period, but the second period, a completely different story as JYP Jyväskylä started to get things going a little bit more offensively as the game went on, but nice job from Hanselino staying in front, making those saves that he needed to. And it's interesting, Sin, because you kind of see, remember we talked about HAVU in the first period having that time on attack, having a few shots on net. Well, in period 2, JYP Jyväskylä had the majority of the attack in that period. 4 shots on net, got most of their time on attack in this period as well. Went from 25 seconds to 3 minutes and 2 seconds. So it kind of just goes to show you a tale of 2 periods, but the only difference, Villikun able to find the back of the net for HAVU, JYP Jyväskylä still not able to find that scoring touch so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. It was a great start from HAVU, but that pushback in that period from JYP Jyväskylä was pretty massive there. Unable to capitalize on it, but if they keep this pace up, it is only a, slim 1-goal lead for HAVU. They got to find a way to get some more offense here. Antti intercepts it in the neutral zone and grabs it back after a missed pass. Sile now. Dump in chase coming out, and here comes the forecheck. Otto in will almost get possession, but Sibelius comes away with it. Nice job by Sile to hold the line momentarily. Villikun trying to break it in, and Sock'em now in possession. Back to Sile. Almost well read by Villikun, who could have forced a turnover there. A saucer pass over that will go for icing. And once again, it seems like JYP Jyväskylä struggling just a little bit in the neutral zone connecting.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like they haven't been on the same page with that breakout. We've seen a lot of those passes for them so far in this game where they're trying to break it out and the pass just doesn't seem to connect and it's a little bit off.
Shot on right there is blocked in front by Sock'em, and Puanzo was hungry for that loose puck, just a split second away from grabbing it. Ponelli now back to Sibelius, who takes a shot on rebound. Oh, and Villikun can't get the shot off in time. Maybe got caught in a bit of an animation, just kind of scoops it towards the net, and Kazu able to recover and smother that.
Yeah, I think you were right on the nose there, Sid. He got caught in that animation trying to pick the puck back up, and it made him delay on getting that shot on net. That could be one to remember if he finds a way to tie this game up.
Dominointi on the point, sent down to Puanzo, looking to the middle, but gets floored. Antti with the puck now. We call that Rock'em Sock'em hockey back there for the right defense of JYP Jyväskylä. Otto down low to Indy, great quick pass. Antti trying to feed the middle for Otto, who has the puck briefly. Ponelli now breaking it out. Villikun, but it's great poke by Sile. Fed up the middle to Antti, looking to split the defense, but Sibelius was right there. Moving it out has Dominointi. Going to perhaps lead the rush himself, trying to use Villikun as a shield there to enter the line, but offside.
Something that's very interesting to me in this game is it's kind of interesting because we talked about HAVU kind of struggling to score a little bit, but something else is that JYP Jyväskylä is also a team that hasn't scored a lot of goals, just 10 goals for in 6 games played. So with HAVU having this 1-0 lead, they have to kind of put JYP Jyväskylä in a situation to be in a spot where they're going to have to find a way to score it. It's not something they've necessarily done particularly well so far this season. And with time winding down comes even more so important. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see if JYP can maybe find that answer, if this 1 goal could actually be enough for HAVU to hold on.
Indy has it down low now. Still maintaining possession. Good work on the boards, trying to work it out. Does have it. Antti now fishing for it and somehow goes on net. Hanselino keeps it out. Puanzo looking to break it out. Pressured from behind, but JYP Jyväskylä can't get it. Villikun now. Nice bit of L skating. We'll send it down low. Saka moving it out. Missed pass again. Sile will be forced to go back. Slap pass up the boards to Otto. Trying to send the pass, but just maybe gets locked onto the wrong area. Goes towards behind the net instead of towards Antti. Gotta say, that's a bit of a missed opportunity here from JYP Jyväskylä, who can't afford to waste any at this point. Looks like a trip there, and JYP Jyväskylä will be headed to the power play here. We'll see if they need it. Sock'em sent down low. Arrow will retrieve. Has the puck now back to Sock'em. Indy once again will get possession. The Great collapse from HAVU, not a lot of space. Shot on! What a save by Hanselinho. Sile's shot had some mustard on it, but he keeps it out. Power play coming up for JYP Jyväskylä.
Hanselinho might have to make more big saves like that, because remember something, JYP Jyväskylä 42.86% on the power play this season. That is tied for #1 in the league with stargazing, so they get a chance to use a strength to get themselves back in this game. They have to take advantage with time dwindling here.
Great face-off win for Monty, trying to send down low for Otto there. They don't get it, and HAVU will get the first clear. Saka now looking to bring this puck up. Indy over to Otto, who gains the line. Sent back to Sile there on the half board, sent all the way around, and Indy will retrieve it. Back now to Sakam. Pinches in a bit, trying to feed Indy, perhaps a bit telegraphed, well read by defensive HAVU, but it's kept in. Antti looking for a pass, sent over! What a shot by Sakam. That sails wide. Back out front, and a big shot block, and it finds its way in! Somehow, some way, Indy will get credit for the goal. And that's a JYP Jyväskylä power play goal, 1-1.
It's exactly what we need. What they need is them. We had just talked about how JYP Jyväskylä really needed to come in and find a way to use that power play and get themselves a goal. They do there. It might have not been pretty right there. You kind of saw them putting that shot on net, just trying to give themselves chances. But we see it all the time, and we saw it on Tuesday especially, and Monday as well. If you put that puck on net, you never know what can happen. You give yourselves those opportunities, and you might just find yourself with the ball on the other end of it. They did so right there, and just like that, we're right back in the tie game.
Seeing HAVU trying to pressure. It looked like it was a shot that was blocked down and just found its way to Indy's stick immediately. And what a bit of a fortuitous bounce, and we have a tie game. HAVU trying to get back in. Here's a rebound. Scores! Just like that, Indy, 2 goals in a row. JYP Jyväskylä takes the lead. We're going to see a timeout coming here from HAVU, and can't necessarily blame him.
Yeah, JYP from out of nowhere, from the top rope, as some wrestling fans may say, all of a sudden up 2-1 after being down in this game for a vast majority of it, 1-0, and you just gotta feel for Hanselinho, a guy that's made so many saves so far in this game, some great saves, and a goal off of the rebound where there are a few bounces, and Antti just kind of put it in, and then just about a minute later, JYP does the same exact thing, another rebound, and Antti at the right place at the right time to take advantage of it. So now HAVU, a team that has really slowed down from that great momentum they had earlier, going out to find a way to fight their way back into this game, because JYP Jyväskylä, all of a sudden, they're the aggressors, and they're the ones that can kind of just sit back and let their defense and goaltending show their stuff being up in this game now.
Yeah, we saw HAVU trying to get a quick response, and then just like that, JYP Jyväskylä took the puck back in their end, put it on net, and the rebound found its way right onto Indy's stick, and here he goes, right back in on the attack again. Looking to the middle, finding Antti. Can't get the shot away, and JYP Jyväskylä hungry now, and HAVU, just such a quick 2-goal swinger, now find themselves in a rough position. Indy, beautiful one-touch deke to the middle, driving the net, has the puck still. Shot on that Hanselinho turns away. Billy Kuhn now gets it poked off his stick, and time is ticking down, almost at the 1-minute mark. Trying to go up the boards there with Sile. Now having some trouble with it. And we'll just dump that in deep. Behind the net, good dump placement right there. Dominotti with trouble, both Indy and Otto pressuring, they have the puck. I don't know, back down low to Indy. Out front to Antti, and had to be sharp right there. Hanselinho made a save and popped out for a minute, but he did get the cover.
Yeah, that was kind of close right there. It looked like there might have been a nice little tap in there for Antti, who was camped out in front of the net, and that third goal would have been the icing on the cake, but luckily Hanselinho sharp on that one to keep this thing in reach for HAVU.
Sakam sending it down low, but in reach is one thing, but if you can't get this puck out of your end, you are in trouble right there. JYP Jyväskylä just killing time in the offensive end. Finally, HAVU have it. Dominotti gets it in, over to Puanzo, trying to go back down low to Dominotti. Sibelius shoots it. Dominotti retrieves it off an errant pass, sent over, looking for the one-time. Couldn't connect. Honelli now, back to the point. Sibelius, the goalie is being pulled. 15 seconds remaining. Hanselinho going to the bench, looking for that extra attacker. He should be joining the play shortly. There he is. Can't keep the puck in, however. Time ticking away, icing. 6.3 seconds left. This is a major face-off play here for HAVU.
And remember, Hunelli is a guy that has not been a center all season, so he's going to have to step up in a position he hasn't been in. If you're HAVU, you got to start getting some shots on that here. You have no choice.
Good face-off win, trying to send the pass down low, just a couple seconds remaining. To the middle again, rebound, and KAZU gets the cover. The final horn blows. JYP Jyväskylä take this game in a thriller, a quick 2-goal switch, and they're walking away with 2 points.
It's funny, Sin, because it didn't look like for the longest time that JYP Jyväskylä was going to be able to come out with the 2 points. They were getting outplayed by HAVU to start this game out, but you kind of saw as the game continued to go on, they started to get that momentum going a little bit more. JYP Jyväskylä started to attack a little bit more, and the game-changing play, the power play goal from their right winger in Indy, and then he comes back and gets another one just a minute and a half later to take the lead 2-1 for JYP Jyväskylä. And it's one of those things, if you went up and got a drink, HAVU was up 1 minute, and when you sat down, JYP Jyväskylä was up the next. So a great result for them to fight back in this game, and for HAVU, just an unfortunate result to where they were in another game. It was a close game, but just not able to attack consistently enough to keep that pressure on JYP Jyväskylä the way they started in this game. JYP Jyväskylä got things going. They cleaned up some of those kind of rough breakout passes that we saw from them early on in the early going of the game, and they were able to get things going a little bit more than HAVU did, and it resulted in a 2-1 win and a comeback win.
Yeah, I mean, the way the game started out, it was all HAVU gaming, and JYP Jyväskylä just kept, getting back, scratching and clawing and working their way back. And if you're HAVU, that great start kind of goes by the wayside. You don't even get a point out of this one. You lose in regulation, and JYP Jyväskylä moved to 5-1-1, and they keep, staying with that very slim goal differential. I mean, they're a 5-1-1 team with just, I believe, a +2 goal differential now as they move to, should have 12 goals, 4 and 10 against. If I believe they came into today with 10 and 9. So somehow, some way, JYP Jyväskylä is getting it done. You got to think, at some point they'll have to improve that goal differential a bit, but they do keep winning those close games, which is, the mark of a good team who can play in all situations there. And so JYP Jyväskylä were able to do in that one, in a big 2 points because of it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you can debate whether it's better to be a team that has a lower goal differential that plays good defense and struggles a little bit on offense, or a team with a low goal differential that plays good offense and can score 4 or 5 in a game but struggles defensively. So it's kind of one of those things to where JYP Jyväskylä, despite not having that goal scoring touch, they've been amazing on the back end. They've only allowed 9 goals in 6 games coming into this. That's one of the lower marks really, and around that range that they are. So it's kind of one of those things to where they've been great on defense, they've been great in goaltending, just haven't found that goal scoring touch necessarily yet. But if they can maybe find that goal scoring a little bit more as the season goes on, this could be a very, very dangerous team. And like we said, you just kind of have to feel for HAVU in that situation. Things started out looking so well and so promising. JYP Jyväskylä wasn't really playing at their best in the first half of that game, and it just felt like that pressure that HAVU had to start out kind of just drifted away. The time on attack was well down after that first period. 3 of those minutes of those 4.5 time on attack were in that first period, and only 4 shots on net in that game as well. So it just kind of felt like that early momentum they had just kind of continuously drifted away as the game went on, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, there's a good response coming out from JYP Jyväskylä, and HAVU, again, the kind of, all that early pressure goes by the wayside. Just the 2 registered shots, the 1 registered goal, and at the end of the day, that's all you're able to put up on the scoring sheet, and more times than not in the ECL Elite, that's not going to be enough to win games here. So we'll set the stage for the second game of 2 between these 2 teams after we get a brief word here from our lovely sponsor. All right, so of course we like to thank our sponsors in Wilhelm Kovalon Lakritzi and ST Hockey for doing everything that they do to help make the ECL Elite as special as it is and make each and every broadcast as special as it is. And of course, that lovely prize pool at the end of the season that all these players are vying for. And JYP Jyväskylä may be one of those teams who have their eyes set on that. This has been a long road back for them. And much to their chagrin at times, we were always bringing them up as that kind of like, look what can happen. Seeding doesn't matter. If you're a first place team, it doesn't matter. We talked about how they got upset by Färjestad. I think it was 4 seasons ago when they took the 1 seed and lost to Färjestad in the first round. And after that, they kept drifting further down the standings until they found themselves in pro. And well, here they are back in the elite division and a 5-1-1 start.
Yeah, and I think the stories like JYP Jyväskylä are what make the ECL as a whole just so special, because you get these stories with teams that kind of have that rise, fall, and rise again. And stories that, of teams that come from the pro or from the light or the core division and kind of work their way up to ascendance. And Jyväskylä, you mentioned, they were a team that were a staple in the ECL for seasons, and they had that 1 versus 8 seed upset, and things kind of went downhill for them for a few seasons after that, to the point where they got relegated for that one season last season, but they didn't let that sink them. They got right back up, won the championship in their lone pro season, and here they are right back at the top in the elite division and competing with really good teams. They're in the thick of the playoff race right now. We talked about how big those points were. Those were a huge 2 points. They've moved themselves up in the standings from 8th as of now to, let's see, I'm checking on my notes here. They've moved themselves up to a tie for 4th right now with Fallon Coal Miners, and with a win again, they moved themselves past Verlunda for 3rd. So it just kind of goes to show you that there's so many stories with these different teams in the ECL, and it really is what makes this league so special. So fun to see Jyväskylä back competing at the top level and doing what they've been doing so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the standings are going to be switching around quite a bit here early on in the season as we sort of get ourselves settled. But with how competitive it is seeming, and how many of those teams that we may have not expected to see on that left hand of the bracket are making their way towards that left hand of the bracket, this, again, could be one of those seasons that just you see constant shifting of teams in playoff positions, constant shifting of seeding. And that, of course, will make for some, incredibly exciting hockey as we, make our way to that final prize pool. But there you go. You see H-Reds on top of the mountain right now, Goons in 2nd, but at least 4 games played than most of the other people around them. Frölunda, the lone undefeated team left here. And I mean, yeah, there's Jyväskylä. As he said, we did get the report in. They're 5-1-1, moved up in a tie for 4th, but goal differential is actually exactly the same. So I'm not sure how it would go to in a tiebreaker in that scenario, but hopefully with the 13 with all the games left that they have, 23, sorry, that we hopefully won't have to deal with a weird tiebreaker like that.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting, and you look at the standings, you see how really deep things are from 6 all the way on down to 12. There's only 1 point really separating all of those teams, so it just kind of goes to show you how big it is to collect these points as early on as you can to put yourself in a good position once we get to that mid-season point, and once we get to that end-of-season point where things really become fast and furious and the wins become even more so important. And obviously both HAVU and JYP looking to increase those points tallies here in this game too.
Absolutely, as HAVU coming in the road, black and greens here, and Jyväskylä in the whites. See what happens here. HAVU looking to get off to another good start and perhaps capitalize on that momentum and keep it going throughout the rest of the game. As, fortunately, Jyväskylä offside right there as they tried to gain the line.
Yeah, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see how HAVU responds coming into this game, too. Obviously, starting out so well in the first game, kind of drifting off as things went on. It's going to be fun to see if maybe Jyväskylä gets off to that hot start and continues that momentum, or if HAVU took the small amount of time in the break to kind of reset themselves, adjust a few things, and get back to what they were doing in the first period of that game one that worked so well for them.
Yeah, and it really was, being able to gain that line and establish their down-low cycle. The second that Jyväskylä really kind of took that away from them, it was all Jyväskylä from there. Still, at times, it was tough for Jyväskylä to gain that blue line, and that's kind of where the strength was coming in. But HAVU's counterattack ran into the same sort of wall there, and they just couldn't establish themselves as they did. But come Jyväskylä here, Antti trying to break his way through the middle off the pass from Indy. Good forecheck behind the net by the 2 wingers of Jyväskylä. Quanso has it. Poked off his stick momentarily. Good pinch in from Sakam here, and all kinds of pressure. But here they go. Perhaps a 2-on-1. Honelli has Villikun. Honelli, nice little dipsy with his stick and a shot on the short side. But Kazu keeps it out. Villikun now with the puck. Sent down low. Honelli bodied off by Sakam, still maintaining possession. Quanso has it. Test the short side. I believe that hit off the iron. Nonetheless, it stays out of the net. And here come Jyväskylä. Otto trying to break it in. Good defense from Villikun, but Otto has it right back. Otto shot off the bar and over the net. There was space on the glove. Puck still alive down low. Sakam with it. Otto has it now. Looking for a pass out front. L skates. Back to the point to Sile. Down to Antti. Good work down low. Indy misses the pass, but Sakam's right there to keep it in. Dominoiti, nice pass up to Honelli. And here comes Villikun. In the middle. Dominoiti will retreat on the point. Has to be careful, and he does get bumped out of the zone by Indy.
Yeah, and things kind of a little bit stagnant here in terms of the scoring here in the first 10 minutes of this thing, but a few chances here for, especially Jyväskylä so far. HAVU trying to get that offensive touch going a little bit. They got in the offensive zone. I think the big question is, can they get shots on that? It felt like at times they got a little bit comfortable with that cycle and didn't put the puck on that as much as they could have. Should be interesting to see if they maybe change that here.
Pass out front looking for Indy, who does get it back momentarily, but Sibelius now with it. And yeah, definitely a bit more of a hectic pace here, at least with the bounces. Both these teams, really trying to be the first one to score, but tripped in the neutral zone. Down goes Antti, and to the power play goes Jyväskylä.
Yeah, remember, they scored on their lone power play in game one. That's how they tied it 1-1 from that rebound that went over to their right winger at Indy. So maybe Jyväskylä could use it to their advantage to get that opening goal that both these teams have been looking for so far, because the bounces, as you mentioned, Sim, absolutely all over the place, despite the score still being tied 0-0.
It's the center, Honelli in the box, so Villikun takes the face-off, and he does end up winning it. Sibelius with the puck, Dominointi sending it out, and all the way down. Sile will retrieve it. Here come the Jyväskylä now trying to gain that line. They do. Nice play by Sock'em, just get that one in. Sends it back to Indy. Indy, the goal scorer on the power play. The only goal scorer in the last game for Jyväskylä. Sock'em now with it to Sile. Looking for something, and a shot on right there. Looking for, I guess, a deflection or a rebound there. Kind of came out of nowhere. Not a bad look. And HAVU can't clear the line. Sile keeps it in. Over. What a shot right there from Sock'em. And Hanselinho gloves it and holds on.
A great play, but a better save there from Hanselinho, and it's exactly what HAVU needs from him against a strong Jyväskylä power play that leads the league. It's been a good penalty kill so far for HAVU. Want to strengthen their team. Looking sharp so far on this one.
Good pressure down low. Antti retrieves the puck. Seconds remaining on the power play. They can't get a chance. Man out of the box. They may have a pass. They find Honelli. Can't get the puck, however. And Sock'em will work it out. Good recovery there from Jyväskylä. Good awareness of the situation. Didn't want to allow Honelli to get in one-on-one on the goaltender, and they prevented it from happening. Honelli now drops it to Sibelius. Give and go, and they have the zone. Villikun sent around. No one home. Puanzo was in the middle of the ice. Errant pass, however, and HAVU will maintain possession. Villikun back to Sibelius, to Dominointi. Sent down low. Puanzo misreads the bounce, but he does retrieve the puck back. Dominointi now. Sent low again, and HAVU just not quite clicking right now on their passing in the offensive zone. Jyväskylä have it. Unable to break it in cleanly, and back in position is HAVU. About 3 minutes left here in this first period. Still looking for the opening goal, and we'll have to wait a bit longer as HAVU is offside.
Yeah, and HAVU, they've had a few possessions, but not really on the same page right now. Just a few passes off. You see that offsides right there, and some of the passes not even necessarily being off in just accuracy, but just a matter of no one being home on where it was intended to go. So maybe example of just kind of seeing some of the newness of this lineup. A few guys playing positions they're not used to playing.
Antti tries a spin pass, and no dice. Villikun trying to just break his way in with speed and tries to send the puck out front. Defended well. That'll be Honelli going back to the box again. A poke from behind right there and trips him up, and Jyväskylä back to the power play.
Yeah, and unfortunate there for Honelli. I know he would love to have that one back, poking from behind. Usually something that's rather frowned upon, but I understand he's trying to make a play happen. It's a tie game. You want to get a little bit aggressive because you want to get that first goal, but unfortunately that aggressiveness comes back to bite him there, and they put a really strong power play back on the ice.
Villikun once again wins the face-off off a tie-up, so that can often be interesting when you get someone in there who doesn't normally take the face-offs. You may think it's a disadvantage, but oftentimes you're just completely not used to their tendencies there, and we've seen it right there. Villikun wins 2 face-offs for his team on important penalty kill scenarios, and we're already halfway through this power play. No real chance to speak of for Jyväskylä, and time actually ticking down in this period as well. Sock'em to Indy, and they do gain the line. Wanso pressuring. Sock'em with it behind the net. Good play by Dominointi. Time ticking away. 3 left. Shot on. And no follow-up opportunity. That will do it for the second period. Still a 0-0 game despite one of the top power plays in the NHL getting multiple, or in the ECL, getting multiple chances.
And they might be able to compete with the NHL a little bit too with this power play, but nevertheless, Jyväskylä, as you mentioned, not really able to connect on it so far. And I think you have to credit the defensive efforts and the goaltending efforts from HAVU to keep them at bay. HAVU's a team that has been strong in their own right on the PK this season, 83.33%. Coming into this game. That was tied for about third or fourth in the league. A few teams have not let up any power play goals yet this season. Yet Jyväskylä, interestingly enough, being one of them. So obviously special teams won their strength, but HAVU doing a good job on that PK, and that's a really big thing for them to be able to stop that momentum of a team that's been so good when they have that extra man advantage. Kind of kills off that momentum, some of that confidence a little bit.
Absolutely, and just pointing out to what we kind of were mentioning before, HAVU seeing the disconnect on some of those passes. They had a 65% passing, which is, we rarely see anything really below 75% here in the ECL Elite, so that's definitely something that HAVU is going to want to clean up here. I want to kill this penalty off quicker, though. And they look like they should be able to do that here. Just seconds remaining. Jyväskylä don't have the line, but fed up to Antti one-on-one. Flying poke check, second opportunity. It stays out! It stays out somehow! Body's in the crease, the goaltender out of the crease, the puck towards the crease, and Jyväskylä don't capitalize. Quick shot on from the far side. Villikun looking for a rebound there. Kept out, but Puanzo forces the turnover. Great follow-up from Honelli. HAVU in. Low shot, rebound. Swiped that by Villikun. Kept out. Sile begins to move this out. Indy now with it over to Sakam. Will gain the line. Back to Indy. Down low to Sakam. Fed across to Antti looking for the wraparound, but Sibelius snuffs it out. Dominointi now with speed. Sends Puanto, but it leads to them being offside.
You can feel the sense of urgency from HAVU, and I think you can even feel even more so from their goaltender in Hanselinho all over the ice to keep that puck from going out. And then HAVU on the counterattack, absolutely relentless. A few shots on them, a really grand attack for them. Maybe this is what they need to turn that momentum in their favor.
Otto behind the net, trying to force the issue here. Sibelius dodging the forecheck for now. Moves it over to Honelli. And Villikun enters the line momentarily. Antti in possession now. Jyväskylä look to break it out themselves. Beautiful slap pass up to Indy. What a great play. The one-touch deke to the inside, however, does not pan out. Villikun can't exit the line, but Puanzo has it now, gains it. Trying to feed Honelli down the middle. But they're unable to capitalize, and Otto moving it out. Over to Indy. Gains the line. Otto has it momentarily. Good poke check from behind by Puanzo. Saka moves in support. They have it for a moment, but here come HAVU once again. Second period here flying by, almost approaching that halfway point already. Sile forced to reset, looking for an opening, trying to feed Indy there, but poked out in the neutral zone, and HAVU back in possession. And a bit of a collision there in the neutral zone will lead to an offside.
Yeah, and afterwards, a frantic first 7 or 8 minutes of this period, things kind of starting to slow down just a little bit. You can see it in the shots. Only 4 shots for HAVU, 3 for Jyväskylä. Both teams have kind of had to take advantage of the chance that they've gotten because they've been few and far between in terms of volume.
Here come Jyväskylä now after a hectic face-off win in the neutral zone. Antti trying to split the D. Sile gets it and keeps it in. Otto behind the net feeds Indy. You can't collect it. Dominointi in possession, being pressured by Otto. Nice bumps in the corner. Dominointi doing his utmost to dodge it. Will get that puck out of the zone. Antti now. Hits Otto up the middle. Another collision there. And both these teams, you know, the blue line's been hard to gain. You can see them looking for zone entries. We apologize for the Terminator sounds right there. It even threw me off here, but hopefully we're back to normal. The AI have not taken over the world just yet. We can exist a bit longer. Antti with a shot, backhand, goes wide. The glove of Hanselinho. Antti now looking for that short side once again. And Dominointi has it behind the net. Glad to see chat enjoyed that as much as we did. And Honelli now, over to Villikun. Sent back to Honelli, gains the line. Looking to do an interesting deke right there, but was poked off of his stick. Up to Indy, gains the line, and Antti now behind the net. Up top to Sakam, over to Sile. Shot blocked by Puanzo, and they'll lead it out the other way. Passed up to Villikun. Some space, but he gets it poked off of him by Seeley, and this has really turned into a bit of a neutral zone battle, but that might change here. Otto with speed down the left wing side, cuts to middle. Pass to Indy. Around to Antti. Back to Indy, tries the short side. Looks like he hit the side of the net of the post, and Hanselinho grabs it. Just not a whole lot of space in the middle of the ice for these two teams to attack, Brandon.
Yeah, there's been few and far between, and we know how big having that time and space can be in terms of creating some offensive opportunities, but the defense has been so stout in terms of not allowing those chances, and it's so important to do that in a game like this. You see how much urgency is being sensed with both of these two sides, trying to just make something happen, but that spaces haven't been there to take that opportunity.
Antti now has the puck. And about 15 remaining here in the second in that real-time last 10 seconds now, and winding down the shot clock, maybe looking for one more chance as JYP Voskala towards the middle there, intercepted by Dominointi, and the clock is killed after two. Still a 0-0 game, and it's hard to say who necessarily has the advantage in that situation. JYP Voskala has been winning, the majority of their games in close fashion, but, HAVU Gaming has that pedigree of being a top defensive team who would find ways to win, but so far in this one, no score. We're waiting for that breakthrough.
Yeah, and this is something that JYP Voskala is not unused to. Like you said, I kind of rattled off a stat earlier. 5 of their 6 games this season have been decided by a goal. Well, after that last game, it's 6 out of their 7. So it's one of those things where they're used to having these close games. They aren't necessarily going to blow a team out, but they're going to put themselves in the situation where they can win. And they've done that so far here, but I think if you had to choose one team having an advantage compared to the other, I think it has to be HAVU in this situation, killing off 2 of those power plays from JYP Voskala early in the game. And how about Honelli being the center, stepping up? His faceoff's been solid so far. He won the faceoff battle in game 1, 10-7. Just won that one right there, 6-6. It might be 6-7 here after this one.
Yeah, no, on the topic of special teams and discipline, JYP Voskala with the least penalized team so far, only having 8 penalty minutes in all their games played, and they didn't take a single one in the last one here, and looking to duplicate that effort in this one. HAVU working this one out of their defensive end. Beautiful pass. Villikun cutting across the ice with speed. Shot on, looking for the rebound. Hunelli couldn't quite get it as Kazu kicked it out and passed back to Kazu. Trying to get him involved in the play was Sock'em right there. And Seeley now moving it up the ice. Gains the line. Not a lot of space there and immediately turned over. Back in HAVU's possession. Back around the net is Seeley now. Working it up the ice. Antti gains the line through the middle. Indy trying to feed the middle once again here, and it's just seeing teams continuing to go back to the well of gaining the line, trying to feed the middle, and it simply isn't there. And to see if they want to make any adjustments here, or just seeing which one of them will be able to get a pass through first. Otto now in possession. Trying to feed Indy right there. He did have some space to skate. They force it in on Hanselinho. Getting some shots away. Sock'em from the point. Hanselinho deep in his crease, but shoulders it aside. Indy now behind the net, goes for the wrap. Had Otto cutting out in front, but opted to shoot. Can't quite dig it out. Good work. As Dominointi able to move it out. He and Sibelius. Pass up to Villikun. Sent down low. Puanzo will get to it. Puanzo trying to feed the middle, intercepted by Antti. Seeley now in possession, has to be careful as the attackers from HAVU are pressuring. Indy unable to get possession. Bumps Dominointi. Sibelius now to work it out. Bit of a slow sauce, and Otto comes in to get the intercept. Antti down low, back up top to Seeley. Over to Sock'em, shot on and saved by Hanselinho. Fed up the ice once more, but Sock'em in possession. Antti gains the line. JYP Voskala getting a bit of momentum here. They want to try to compound that and get some more chances out of it. But HAVU in possession, resetting and looking for a break-in of their own. Dump and chase coming out, but forechecker's not quite close enough. And JYP Voskala work it all the way back out. Back and forth here in the neutral zone is Honelli now, gaining the line of JYP Voskala. Dominointi sent over to Villikun, shot on, rebound, scores! HAVU Gaming break the ice here towards the later part of this third period. That's Honelli getting the goal off of a rebound opportunity. 1-0 HAVU Gaming.
How about Honelli stepping up, going into center for this game, hadn't scored yet this season? Well, what better time to get your first goal of the season than right then, later on in the stages of this game when your team needs it most, and HAVU up 1-0, and keep in mind, this is a HAVU team that has been solid for the most part when they've had these leads that they've been able to hold on. Yet Jyväskylä has struggled to be able to score here in high fashion, so this could benefit HAVU getting this goal late.
Absolutely, as Honelli in on the attack once again, trying a quick shot on, looking to compound that momentum, not give Jyväskylä anything to work with, similar to what happened in the last one when Jyväskylä took that 1-goal lead towards the end of the game, and great job down low by HAVU, killing some time. 5 minutes left here in the third. Jyväskylä looking for the equalizer, gained the line but can't hold it. Villikun now with the puck, poked off by Sakam, and Sile will retrieve it. Moving up, looking for Antti, who thought that pass was coming to him as well, almost down to the top of the circle there. And Jyväskylä go offside. We're going to see a timeout coming as well from Jyväskylä, so they want to refill those stamina bars here with just 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and I can't say I blame them with a little bit of time remaining and just trying to find the tying answer. It's interesting because you kind of look at the stats, and other than the shots on net, Jyväskylä has been just that little bit better statistically than HAVU, but it's been one of these games where neither team has really just been able to take advantage of a lot of that opportunity in terms of time on attack and shots on net. So Jyväskylä, you kind of wonder if they go back to that rebound that worked so well for them in game one and got them back into the game. Both of those goals were on rebounds that just kind of happened to pop out in the right place and go to the stick in Indy. So it could be something to look out for as we get into the later half of this game.
Yeah, going back to the well, definitely never a bad idea. We see them in this one always trying to kind of get towards that middle of the ice, and HAVU's just completely shut it down. So I like that mentality. Sile coming in, collapses there, and the shot was blocked by Puanso. Indy trying to get that puck back, and good attack. Sakam can't quite get it. Puanso weaving his way out of the zone, and HAVU back in possession here. Great forecheck from Indy. Can he get the puck back? Honelli goes down, takes a hit that makes the play, and sent all the way down. That should go for icing, and an offensive zone draw here for Jyväskylä.
This should be the chance potentially for Jyväskylä. You get that offensive zone faceoff like you mentioned, and remember, Honelli's been solid on the faceoff circle, but this is a guy here in Antti that's been solid himself this season, so this is a big chance for Jyp to get that zone time.
Tie up, but coming away with it is HAVU Gaming. Sakam keeps it in. Indy can't get possession. Puanso looking to break it out. Antti has it. Antti looking for the shot, but Villikun bumps him from behind. Less than a minute remaining here in the third. HAVU in possession. Honelli gains the line, trying to send it to Puanso. But here come Jyväskylä. Over to Sakam, and he has it. Sakam looking for the shot. Poke from behind. Shot on. Hits a body in front. Doesn't go to the net, but bounced precariously in front. Dominointi in possession. Pressured from behind by Indy. Goes around his net. Support from Sibelius, but the attack coming in from Otto. Antti has it. Sent all the way around. Indy will retrieve it. Almost down to 20 seconds here in the third. Goaltender still in the net for Jyväskylä. Otto down low to Indy. Sent all the way around. Sile will come and grab the puck. Sile down low to Antti. Score! Short side snipe! Antti gets the game-tying goal with 11.8 seconds remaining here in the third period. We may see overtime yet.
Yep, hooray! Yep, Jyväskylä with a late goal, and it was all from that relentless forecheck there, Sin. We saw HAVU get possession a couple of times, but they could not get out of their own zone. An excellent forecheck there from Jyväskylä to keep that pressure on, keep the puck in the offensive zone, keep plugging away, and they're rewarded with a goal to tie this up.
Maybe looking to get one more chance here. Antti weaving his way in. Villikun has it. Sent up to Honelli, but not enough time. Tries a move to get a final shot away, but we are headed to overtime. Jyväskylä guaranteed 3 out of 4 points on the day. It's already a good day for them, and they have a chance to get a fourth here.
Yeah, maybe make that day even a little bit better. And how about that for Jyväskylä? We kind of talked about it. These guys are not necessarily the team is going to win in blowout fashion. They're not going to score 4 or 5 goals in most of their games, but they're going to give you a tight one to say the least. And we have another one right here between them and HAVU. And, you know, you kind of wonder now, getting that late goal, where are the spirits right now for HAVU? How is the morale? Because you led this game, you got that goal late with 7 minutes to go, and things were looking all fine and dandy, and then all of a sudden, Jyväskylä, they had that forecheck, could not get out of their own zone. HAVU couldn't, and Jyp took advantage and got the tying goal with 11 seconds left. And something else to keep in mind, HAVU 0-3 in overtime games so far. It's something to keep in mind here as they've kind of struggled here in the extra period this season.
Yeah, and another thing that can't really be avoided, talked about, it's once again, HAVU only able to muster the 1 goal here in regulation, and although they did have a lead, the lead went away, and here they find themselves in overtime. So again, still a chance to get this second point here, but goal scoring hard to come by for them as well. With this lineup change, they're looking for, different looks. Started out so strong in game 1, but have since really fizzled out. We have a tie game here, overtime, as CLA decides he doesn't like what he sees, and we'll go all the way back to reset. Now over to Sakam, who hits Antti, who gains the line, trying to do a quick little sauce over to Otto. Can't get the puck. Sibelius has it now. Villikun gets crushed along the line. And Jyväskylä back in possession. CLA now trying to go up the middle to Indy there, sending him all alone with speed, looking to split the defense and get a one-on-one situation with Hanselinho, but they don't quite connect. HAVU's going to have to be aware of that. That was a nice little set play in the neutral zone. They look for the dump and chase. CLA back there. Quickly moves it over to Sakam. Jyväskylä looking for some space. Had Indy on the right wing side. Went a bit undetected there, but the lane wasn't there. Well defended by Puanso. Now Sakam. Both teams careful to make a mistake here, which could lead to a chance the other way. Sent up to Antti, but Indy is offside.
And Sid, you kind of get the feeling that this could be one of those games with the pace that this game has gone at. Now that it's tied, you mentioned neither side wanted to make that mistake. You kind of wonder if maybe this could be one of those games that goes long in the overtime, maybe even 2 overtimes because of some of that conservativeness with the puck.
Absolutely, and oftentimes we see teams can get caught in that kind of mentality of playing it not to lose here, and that can also lead to some stagnation of your offense itself, and both these teams struggling to score so far may want to try to avoid that. Jyväskylä trying to get that cycle going. It's a great poke off those corner boards that leads to the counterattack. Puanso in looking for that shot, but it's poked off his stick. Otto sent over to Antti with some speed. Sauces over to Sakam. Perhaps a bit of a miscommunication there. Sakam was peeling back on the play. Dominoiti over to Puanso, who gains the line, hit off the puck, but Honelli has it. Honelli back in possession. Looking to get a shot right there, perhaps. It goes off the back of the net, but he still maintains possession. Delayed penalty. HAVU will get a chance at their first power play of this 2-game set. Shot from the point goes wide off of a body in front. Villikun back to Sibelius. Goaltender is out. Hanselinho in the play. Hanselinho with the puck. Sent back to Honelli, back to Hanselinho, misplayed. And Dominoiti has it to Sibelius. Sibelius can't quite do what he wants with the puck, and it's poked off and touched to the power play. Go HAVU.
This is interesting because you mentioned this earlier, Sim, but we hadn't seen HAVU's power play so far. Yet Jyväskylä, typically a rather disciplined team, but take a penalty here in overtime right there. They've been great on their penalty kills so far. If yet to allow a power play goal, they're going to have to continue that here to keep this game going.
Yeah, just their 5th minor penalty on the season here. And they win the face-off. Great job by Antti, and a great clear by Indy all the way down. And HAVU will be forced to try to gain that line. They do so with relative ease right there. Puanso on the left wing side with possession. Dominoiti back down low. Taken by Indy and sent all the way down once again. Dominoiti sent over to Puanso. They gain the line. Dominoiti stops up around the circle. Back down low to Puanso, who feeds Villikun. Working the perimeter right now, looking for some to open up in the middle. Well read by Antti there. Gets possession. The puck does go out. And it looked like it did. Then it went back out, then back in. And eventually they do go offside there with a move by Puanso.
And HAVU trying to get something going on the power play with the cycle, but not really a lot of shots on net so far. You kind of wonder if maybe you try to take a more shot-first approach, considering that only 1 shot is what it takes to maybe get a win here, and that's second point for HAVU.
Well, they're going to have a brief 5-on-3, a trip coming out from Jyväskylä here. As that'll be Otto heading to the box right there. As coming in from the line, I think that was Sibelius attacking, and, well, they'll have a brief 5-on-3. This face-off so important for Honelli.
Yeah, that was a big penalty there that Otto took. He was in position for that first poke, but unfortunately, right as he kind of changed the angle, got the skate there, and a big chance for HAVU here.
HAVU will have it in down low, but they can't get the puck out front. 1 man out of the box. They shoot. They score! Puanzo wins it in overtime for HAVU. A quick bang-bang play from behind the net. The pass out front. The shot on goal. Very similar to the first goal scored in that first game by Villikun. And HAVU wins it in overtime.
How about this, Sin? The former Jyväskylä player, now back on HAVU in Puanzo, comes and gets the game-winning goal in overtime for his team. A critical game-winning goal as well. They desperately needed the 2 points here today, especially with Jyväskylä being a team that's in front of them in the standings. Huge to not let them be able to get too big of a gap on them. And Puanzo, the former player for Jyväskylä last season, comes in and strikes the game winner against his former team. You'll love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a bit of a storybook ending here. Puanzo rejoining HAVU after his time from Jyväskylä, as you mentioned. Big game-winning goal. That's a win that really HAVU desperately needed here. If they, lost another one in OT, they would have been 1-3-4 on the year, which is simply not what they would want to see. But now, 2-3-3, slightly better, still more within striking distance. That's just a massive 2 points. We talk about it all the time. You got to get those points because this season can get away from you quickly off a single slump, or sometimes, a single winning streak can change your fortunes drastically here. And that's a big win for HAVU, but still a successful day if you're Jyväskylä. 3 out of 4 points, and great job forcing overtime in this one.
Yeah, I think obviously Jyväskylä would have loved to have gotten the 2 wins and swept this one, but like you said, Sin, 3 out of 4 points, a good day at the office no matter who you're facing, especially when you are facing a team like HAVU, struggling or not. Even sometimes just seeing those names that you're playing on across the screen can kind of be like, oh man, this is one of the top teams in Europe that we're playing against, and it can be a little bit daunting to have to face that sometimes, but a nice job from Jyväskylä to get 3 out of 4 points, and a good day for HAVU too. Obviously, I know they still hope they can play a little bit better, definitely not their best performance in either of these 2 games, but they managed to get 2 points. They keep themselves in the thick of things in that playoff race, because you have to remember, if they were to drop another one, if you only get 1 point, you get no points, then you're flirting with that last place spot that IQ is in right now, who is only 1 point behind HAVU with 4 before they got this win here with the 2 points. So absolutely huge for HAVU to get this win. And maybe if they get on a streak, like you mentioned, if they can turn things around, this could be the moment that we look back and say, this was what sparked that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, could be a bit of a turning point for HAVU. And if you're a Jyväskylä, continuing a good start on the season, 3 out of 4 points, nothing to really be ashamed about here, as we're seeing some excellent looks at these replays from the goals early on. That's just classic HAVU right there. Great forecheck. That looked like maybe a chop right there coming out from Villikun to keep that play alive down behind the net, and then the pass back out front. Just an excellent job on the forecheck and in the down low cycle, as HAVU loves to generate their attack from down there, leads to the game-winning goal for HAVU, and they pick up that so important second point for just their second win on the season, which is kind of crazy to say, but it has not been an easy road so far for HAVU Gaming, but that will do it for the first series of 2. When we come back, we'll be seeing Färjestad taking on HV71, so we hope you stick with us after this brief intermission.